Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be setting up our EMC, that's right, our EMCable items, to be linked into our applied energistic system. So, I hope you guys are ready. So, ignore my ridiculous power flower setup that I have going on here. Yeah, this is producing close to 4.5 trillion every 20 ticks. And, yeah, let's just say we're pushing things a little bit over the edge. And let's just say our EMC, we can probably here in a little bit make the final flower. But I'm not worried about that today. I want to get into applied energistics, making things a little bit easier for us. So, to do that, well, we need to open up applied energistics and take a look at exactly what we're going to need, because a lot of these things are EMCable, which is really, really good. Like the where's it at? Not our drives and stuff like that. Oh, I guess they have the stuff not EMCable in this pack, which is, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It'll kind of push you towards, I don't know, automation. But I thought these things might have had EMC, but I guess not. Okay, well, that's perfectly fine, because we can set up automation for these things. The inscriber and stuff is pretty easy to make. We need to get, well, charged Certus. Do we have charged in here? I don't think so. Do we have Certus? We do. Okay, so as long as we have Certus, we need some way to get charged Certus. And getting charged Certus, we can use, I guess, an energetic infuser to do this. This isn't the best way to do it, but it will work this way. Energetic infuser. Redstone transmission coils, nothing special there. That's the silver ones. Okay, so silver, pretty straightforward. Copper, it's like copper's gears are like used in all of this. Some redstone reception coil, and frame and lead gear. Okay, so with all that being done, let's go ahead and make ourselves a gear. And we should be able to make this pretty easy. There we go. There's an energetic infuser. I'm going to go ahead and place this here. And I'm going to take some of that Certus quartz. I'm just going to place it in here. And it should start charging. Slowly but surely. And it looks like the charged Certus quartz does not have EMC. Which, it's not a bad thing, but I think refined storage has EMC values on things. Yeah. I guess its base pieces don't. But this is a lot easier to get into, refined storages. Okay. So we have a couple of those, which is good. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some quartz. Good old-fashioned normal quartz and redstone and water. Okay. All these good things mixed together to create us something nice. We'll go ahead and make ourselves a little place to do this. Like so. Fill that with water. We're going to throw our charged Certus quartz, redstone, and nether quartz in here. And that should give us flux crystals. Perfect. And flux crystals, good. At least those have EMC. So there we go with that. There's the flux. This is going to allow us to get into applied energistics. So some of the few things we need, of course, is the ME drive. So we're going to have to get the presses for that, and I'm going to explain those in a little bit. ME drive is not going to be too difficult. We need ourselves a crafting monitor, and we're going to need some other things. ME controller, but we'll have to worry about those later. So an inscriber, some sticky pistons, I think pistons. I do have sticky pistons, nice. And iron. So we go ahead and make those, and it's also going to require a flux crystal. So that shouldn't be too difficult. And now we have an inscriber. Perfect. Now these inscribers do require power. So I'm just going to give it some points. And we'll call it a day with those inscribers. So 1, 2, 3. We can do a 3. Technically, you probably want 5. Yeah, we might do 5. Let's do that there. And we'll set them up like so. Perfect. Now this will affect their automation ability because all the sides can need to be configured. But like I said, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about too much with that because I think Applied Energistics add-on mod is in here. What is it called? AE add-ons. So the inscriber. Yeah, we're gonna need some of these engineering presses. So yeah, once we get those, then this process is not going to be too difficult for us at all. So that's going to require all these to be powered. Now, a configurator is a really good thing to have. We need some flux, obsidian, and ender pearl. And I'll show you what this does. I don't think we have flux. Redstone and a flint and steel. You take this, light some on fire, throw some redstone in. Don't catch yourself on fire. That'll get you some flux. Ender pearl. Obsidian. This thing's actually super, super handy. What you can do is you take it and you go ahead and configure your network. And you just set it up. And what you can do is you can just right click and it's going to automatically set that network status onto the ones you click. Super, super handy. So you don't have to open the config every time and manually do it. Alright, so we're pushing back into Applied Energistics. We're going to focus on a few things. Of course, we need to get a silicon press, but we really need to get all the presses. So if we search press, we can see here are some of the presses. Silicon, this right here, is going to come from sand, which I've already had processing over here. At least I thought I did. Oh, I already have some. So I ended up making one so we can get more. But this one is going to require gold. So we'll just do that one. And the next one's going to require diamond. This one's going to require Certus quartz, which we have. And last but not least, solid silicon. So there's that inscriber. That one. These aren't that difficult of recipes. And there's our silicon press. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that silicon press started. We place one at a time. That's the thing that slows down with these, unfortunately, is just how slow they are by default, because you can only put one in at a time. And that's why we're going to upgrade this fairly quick. Alright, let's take a look at AE add-ons. And the advanced subscriber is going to require engineering processors. So we need to find the engineering press, go to our next press, and get ourselves some diamond. We're going to need 2 of those. So let's go ahead and get them made. And this one, we can go ahead and get it set up. We need redstone inside here. And we also need those 2 pressed silicon. Or silicon. I don't know why I'm saying silicon. And then we're going to throw those together, and that is going to create that circuit for us in this inscriber, if I can talk correctly today. There we go. Last but not least, throw those 2 together, and this is going to make life so much easier. So the advanced inscriber, 2 hoppers, and inscriber, that's super simple. Alright. So hopper. I think I have the iron already. We need an inscriber here. I can actually take all of them now, because we're only going to need 1. Same with this. And if I remember correctly, I think this only accepts a certain kind of power, but I think these can actually power it. We're about to find out. Okay. So I place this down. Is this powered? I don't know. We'll put a press in here. Okay, so it is accepting power, because usually this is universal for the power. And there it goes. So this inscriber is a lot better. A lot better. Does it have an EMC value? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. But it does make this a lot faster. All right, so now that that's working, that should be a lot easier. And then we also need a crystal growth chamber. We need to work on making this stuff. So something we're going to need a lot of is quartz. So let's go ahead and get some crowned quartz made. We're going to need crates. It's probably going to be the best way to automate this. So we'll place a crate on top, on the side. And we'll take some quartz. Get a whole bunch of it. Throw it in there. There we go. And then we're going to let this thing have a fill day. Put this on pull, this on push, and that's just going to start creating nether quartz dust for us. Like I said, we're going to need a lot of it. So might as well get that started now. So, now that we have all this stuff started, we're going to be working towards this growth crystal accelerator, or the growth chamber. And this guy doesn't really require too much. It's a fluix block, which you can make pretty easy. The glass is, like I said, more quartz powder in glass. So I'm going to go ahead and get one of those made, and I'm going to show you how to use it here in a second. And also I'm going to start working on some more advanced inscribers. And I'm going to probably make 5 of those. I'm going to work on making engineering processors here in a second. Make a whole bunch of those, and then we're going to make these advanced inscribers. This is going to be really helpful for automating things later on. So we have all of them set up, and now we have this crystal growth chamber. I want to kind of explain what this thing does. Basically, this takes up a 6 multi-block growth accelerator and kind of turns it into a single block, which is super useful. Because what we can do is take some crushed up Certus quartz, take some sand, not sandstone, sand, there we go, and combine that with it to get Certus quartz seeds. These Certus quartz seeds need to go in here, and what this will do is it'll grow them way faster, and you don't have to let them set in water. You can just kind of put them in here and just leave them be. You don't have to even worry about them. But this Certus quartz is how you actually make the calculation presses. And believe me, you're going to need calculation presses down the road. So you're going to have to let these guys build up. Right now I have over here the diamond presses. I have the calculation here. Center is where our main process is going to happen. But what I can do is throw that in there. That's going to start producing those. We have logic circuits. And then I have the silicon press right here. Or silicon press that is going on. So I can take some of these logic ones, go ahead and get them processing. And I kind of just have to, kind of process these things. Technically, I should have a bunch of these inscribers and have a bunch of the silicon presses above these inscribers. Maybe have a personal EMC link auto feeding these, but we can set that up later. I can totally do that. It'd be super easy, I think, to set up automation for these and have them automatically going into our system just being generated. It wouldn't take too long at all. So right now, I just need to get some logic processors. I need to get some of the engineering processors made, and we should be good. If we take a look at applied energistics, what we're going to need is an ME drive, which requires 2 engineering processors. We're going to need ourselves a crafting terminal, which requires a calculation processor and a logic processor. We can probably make the illumination panel, which is glowstone, redstone, and that glass, quartz glass. Also, I think iron as well. So these are things that you probably want to have on you while working on this. Illumination panel, yes. And things like this are actually EMCable, so you definitely want to take advantage of those. We have these annihilation cores, which we're going to need some of that fluix that we made. And this is where you're going to want to actually grind some of the fluix up, because you are going to need fluix dust. And more Certus as well. That's going to need to be processed. Awesome. So the annihilation core, you have one that is using fluix and Certus. This right here, and a logic processor, and that's what we're going to get. So we can take these logic processors out. Let's throw in these engineerings. And we should be able to start our production of these, right? So these different cores, should be able to make them. There's a formation core. We're missing nether quartz. Not for long. So there's that. And the kind of the hype around this, the reason why I'm going with Applied Logistics, I want to show you guys what you can do with your EMC. And it's kind of surprising, actually, what you can do with this. I'm just going to replace these right now. I don't think you can put these back in here, but we will have them. There we go. I'm going to let that finish up. There we go. And that should allow us to get this. We need a crafting table. We already have the panel. Make the terminal. And then make the crafting terminal. Perfect. I was just checking to make sure these don't have EMC values because it'd be really nice if they did. So that's one big heavy craft right there. Now the other thing is going to be our drive, which we need cable. So making our drive, there we go. And I would say an ME controller is going to be something that we would need. We can go ahead and take some of this and make the fluix needed for that. Because, I mean, eventually we are going to need the controller. I just need to figure out where I'm going to put this thing. The controller is definitely needed. Definitely. We also need some drives. So, getting a couple of 1Ks are going to be pretty easy. And then I'm going to show you later on down the road how crazy this is going to get. So we have enough for a bunch of 1Ks. And that's really what you want. You want a bunch of 1Ks to kind of get started with. That's going to give us 7. So there's a bunch of 7 1K drives. Let's go ahead and take our actual drive itself. I'm just going to place it here for right now. I'm going to fill up all of these slots. It doesn't have any kind of power or anything yet. I don't actually know if it will accept a point. Will it accept a point directly? No, it doesn't. I didn't think it did. Even though I thought that it was exchangeable, but it's not. So yes, we do need definitely a controller. So getting skystone. How do we go about getting skystone? Blocks of coal. Okay. Pretty decent recipe there. So that should mean we can make a controller. We need to cook this stuff. We are in all smelting mode. And there we go. That was super simple. And there's our controller. Nice. I want to place a controller in the back. So we're going to hook our power. There we go. Cable. And we're going to have ourselves an applied logistics system. Bam. Just like that. Now, there is a thing that you just seen right there where it kind of goes black. That's in later, like the newer versions. For some reason, that has been a thing. I don't know why, but it does do that if you kind of put things in too fast. And it's something to do with power, I believe. I don't know why, because this should hold enough power to allow us to put items in. But sometimes it causes issues like that. All right, so now that we have this set up, I really want to work on the storage bus. So an ME storage bus basically lets you take an external storage, such as a storage controller with a bunch of drawers that have a bunch of items in it, and it'll actually show up in your system. I want to set that up here with the ME storage bus and use this and hook this up to our MC link, and it's going to work. I'm going to show you this. So let's take the ME interface. We should be able to make this. Now that we have some items in here, we need glass. Guessing. So there's glass. We'll make that. And it's just a piston and sticky piston. So a piston and a sticky piston, and that should make the bus that we need. Awesome. And we'll take the cable. I'll just need one for right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our personal EMC link. We're going to pull out a bunch of them. We're going to craft them and compact them like this. This will give us a refined EMC link. And then we're going to pull out 6 of these. And this is going to give us the top tier compressed refined EMC link. Now, I have not actually played with this, so I'm still going to be kind of iffy on how exactly it works, but apparently these are all the slots that you can store items in. So technically, if I want to say I want to make sure a stake is output here, I can throw it in here, and look, I can literally pull it out of there. And that's what we can do, is hook this in. So let's do that. Let's hook that, and hook this. And what we can do is set this to priority 1, so that way when we put items back in, they'll go back into here. Actually, that might be a bad idea, now that I think about it. I don't actually know how we should set this up, being priority 1 or not. I don't know. So, I want to see what this looks like. So if we have nether quartz, what does it look like if we put nether quartz in here? Look how much nether quartz is in there. The max. There's just too much. So yeah. Putting things in here is definitely going to be something we're going to do. I probably need all the ingots. So like an ingot from, like each major ingot that we can think of that actually has a use anyways would probably be a good thing to do. And the thing is we can have multiple storage buses all hooked to this and just basically have an infinite applied energistic system. I've been getting a lot of questions, people asking me, how can I hook my stuff up to the applied energistic system? Well, this is how. This is exactly how you do it. Just like this. And this is actually a pretty large amount of items that you can hold in just one of these. Like I said, and you can make a bunch of these and hook them up with storage buses. And be good forever. Be totally golden. So this is just our ingots. And you can still throw items in here just like before. There you go. Except for now, you can see we have pretty much infinite of whatever resource we put in there. We can do redstone, glowstone. These are all things that we always use. Like cobblestone, stone, pistons. I mean, all these things that are always used in crafts. Man, we can just fill this whole thing up. Like lapis is always used in things. This is crazy. This is why I wanted to get to this point, because I think this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So I think that if you put the item in there and it's hooked to the bus, it will go in there and not hang around in your system, I don't think. Look at that, we're at 11. Oh my gosh, this is a million, billion, trillion, quadrillion? P is what that stands for. Quadrillion comes after trillion, I believe. Yeah, that's a lot. So now that we have this set up, I was trying to think of some other major items that we can put in here. But honestly, I don't know. Ooh, the frames. Glowstone blocks, maybe. Hoppers. We're always using hoppers. And what other things? I mean, let me know in the comments. What do you think would probably be good items to always have access to? Maybe all the main gears? I think the gears that we always use for everything be super useful. Totally. But yeah, this will just basically allow us to make all of the other stuff for thermal expansion. Man, I didn't realize how big this actual inventory section is until you start putting items in there and you're like, wow. It's actually quite large. It's a lot of storage. Yeah, that's a lot of storage. So let's go ahead and start working on our EMC. I think at this point we have enough to make the final EMC setup. So that way we'll have just infinite EMC, right? We'll just have way too much EMC. Oh my gosh, guys. This is just getting just crazy. We're getting super overpowered, which is fun. And that's what this pack is all about, is becoming overpowered, being super fun. Man, oh man. Just taking a look at the last bit of things that we might want to add. Like I said, later on, we might add more. For sure. Man, this is just one. Could you imagine having multiples of these? Like, that's just all your items all ready to be crafted right there. You could pretty much put, I mean, you could technically put everything from your applied energistic system in there, and it will show up in here. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to. You just have to do it manually, so you don't have to, you can't just do it automatically. All right, so the Colossal Omega. Let's take a look at this. Here we are towards the end of everything, taking a look at this last thing that we need to make. And man, oh man, is this going to be glorious. So the final everything, the final relay requires the final star shard. And the final star itself, I believe, is 649p. Whereas this just requires 338p. And that's all I think that's required for the final collector, is just a shard. But we need 2 of them for this. But I mean, we could technically make that. And then this, you're looking at, oh man, so much for this. We only have 12 as well. I don't think that's going to be enough. But we're going to see what we can do here. So let's go ahead and make this. Like the final star, we need the 8 Colossal. And a nether star that we ended up getting from a loot crate, actually. And let's see, we'll start throwing this in here. That'll give us the final star shard. Oh man, guys. This is just ridiculous. The amount of EMC that this produces. So the faded, and we need another faded relay. Combine that with those, and you get the final versions. Oh boy. The final collectors. So this produces 1 trillion a second. Right now we're producing 4 trillion. So I think this is going to be a little bit more expensive than what we're currently producing at. But it also doesn't hurt to add to what we're producing. And actually, we can probably tear these down and get way more EMC out of that. Pick. Actually, we can probably get way more EMC. And that's the thing, like you take the ones you have and you compact them down, and it'll be way more EMC by that point. So how much is that going to bring us to? Enough for another one. That's still not going to push us to what I think we're going to be pushed to. The relay bonus is the trillion. This, oh man, okay. So, let's get a personal EMC link. We're going to do this one the old-fashioned way. Here, with the relay next to it, and then these 3 on the sides of that. And it looks like we're pushing, holy moly, 6 trillion. So what we had before, all of those, was less than just this little setup. And this is just one part. Basically, this is the multi-block here to one of those power flowers. Oh my. So yeah, EMC generation, we are reaching like the top tier of power generation. That's insane. So I wanted to show off some of the cool Project EX things. Like this is a super cool one. We're gonna really put this to good use. The compressed, like we should have more of those. I didn't store it, but believe me, we are definitely going to make more of those. We could have 2 or 3, or even 4 or 5. Doesn't really matter. You can have as many as you want hooked up to your system. So anytime you need to craft anything, you can just pull it out. Oh man, like wood. I mean, when you've always been stuck where you're like, oh, I need to pull out some wood. I need to pull out some logs. Oh, I need to pull sticks out. Oh yeah, sticks. You know, you're always hitting that point. Well, now you can just go boop, boop, boop. I always have it. How awesome is that? All right, so we have some quest rewards that need to be completed. And let's go ahead and do that. Oh man. How much is this? Look, we're at 209. We could totally buy some creative items. We also have some new pages that have unlocked. And I'm kind of curious as to what these all require, but some of these require some things. Getting started has one down here. It's called, it just says locked, and it's called Introduction. But I don't know exactly what it unlocks, because I experimented with some of this stuff during the live stream. So if you haven't followed me over at twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect, you are missing out, man. We had so much fun last stream. It was absolutely amazing. I just noticed it's probably going to be bugging all of you guys. You guys are all going to comment and say, Chosen, it's not centered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I messed with everybody's OCD. That probably didn't help either. So we're going to fix that. There we go. And I'll just place it right here. It works the same way. Oh wow, are we producing more? No. I was going to say, I thought we were producing more. We're just getting a lot of mob drops. You know what? I haven't checked this in a while. So I think that we're at the point where majority of this stuff that we have has already been learned. And yeah, it should be fine to be removed. But I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Project E. What do you think of this? Do you like having tons and tons of EMC? Do you think that that's fun? And how it scales up? Because like I said, now it's just a waiting game for the end credit thing, for the final star. And the final star is going to require, like I said, 649. It's a lot, but I think we can get there pretty easy very, very soon. But all these other things we're going to start working on the next few episodes. And like I said, some things have been removed and need to be worked on. So as you can see, the pack is almost ready for release. Just some final things that need to be worked on. And I think this thing is going to be ready to go. Roaring to go. Everybody's going to have so much fun playing this. I've got a lot of comments going, oh, you're going to be done with the pack by the time it releases. I doubt it. I doubt I'm going to be done with the pack. With the way I play mod packs, I seriously doubt it. I'm going to be trying to upgrade everything I can in this pack. And also we have those in-game quests that I haven't even started on. And we have automation tabs right here for automating all these different fluids. And I want to try and do each fluid. And we haven't even started blood magic, guys. So there's a lot ahead of us. There's a lot. And there's a lot of content in blood magic. Even though I don't really like covering blood magic because YouTube, of course, just doesn't like the word blood in the title, even though it's blood magic. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.